Welcome to the channel if it's your first time here, and welcome back if it's not. Now in today's video we're going to be looking at this, and this is a Cosori Turbo Tower 10.8 litre air fryer. That's a lot of air frying capacity, but this isn't just one big basket for you to chuck everything into this. This is a tower design that has two baskets that allows you to have several different things cooking at once or individually, or however you like really. So in this video today, we're going to get this out of the box, we're going to have a quick look at it, and then we're going to take it down to the kitchen and give it a jolly good test. But let's get it out of the box first, and I can tell you a little bit more about it. So right in the top of the box, we've got this quick start guide. I think what I should do maybe is put the box onto the floor, and we'll have a little bit more room to play. So let's do that. But let's just have a quick look at our quick start guide. That is perfect. It's just got all the sort of basics set out and also suggested cooking times for different items. So this user manual tells you what we'll be looking at. I've actually got the Turbo Tower Pro Smart version. There is a standard Turbo Tower edition, which has a few less features than the Pro Smart version, but I'll cover those as we go. So the standard model of this is £239, and the Pro model that I'm going to show you in the video today is £299. And yeah, we've just got a user manual here that just takes us through some of the basics. Now, one of the main differences between the Turbo Tower and the Turbo Tower Pro Smart, which is the one I've got, is that you can actually control and monitor your air fryer through an app, which just seems insane. Now, I know lots of people say, oh, you shouldn't need apps to use products, and you don't need the app to use the product. It's just an added bonus of the Pro Smart model. You can use it perfectly well with or without the app, but it's just an added bonus for sort of slightly more tech-obsessed people like me. So yeah, just a standard instruction manual. Now, these are some important things to note. Before its first use, you've got to make sure you take out all the packaging and everything like that. And you've got to wash the baskets and crisper plates properly. I won't do that on camera, but I will do that before I use the product. And before you actually cook food in it, you need to do a test run, and essentially you just run it at 195 degrees for 10 minutes, and that just kind of burns off any kind of smells or odours that have come from the factory, and that just makes sure it's ready to go. And it also says when you're using the air fryer, it needs to be at least 13 centimetres away from your wall. I think because the heat exhausts out of the back of this, and you don't want it just sort of sat up against the wall, blasting heat into the wall and potentially causing damage. Fine. Now, it's worth noting that this does come with a 2-year warranty, so if there are any problems in the first 2 years, Cosori will get you sorted out. Okay, so here it is. We'll get a better look of it when it's in the kitchen, but we've got those two drawers there. So it's got a 10.8 litre capacity. So that top basket is 4.3 litres big, and the bottom basket is 6.5 litres in capacity. Now, the beauty of this over a side-by-side unit is that it takes up less space on the work surface. Now, I've already got a Cosori air fryer. Despite this being taller, I don't think the footprint of it is actually all that much bigger than our standard one drawer version, which is great. It just saves space on the worktop. I really love the idea of being able to cook in two baskets at once, but a non-tower air fryer just means a whole width of your work surface is taken up, but this is a lot smaller. I'll actually put the dimensions on the screen now so you can see exactly how big this is. Now, it's vented at the back, so you've got these two vents, and obviously you mustn't wrap the cable around these or anything like that. These should just be free to let the air come out, and obviously when this isn't cooking you can push this into a wall, but just make sure that it's cooled down fully before you do that. So here's the inside of that 4.3 litre top drawer. Now, because this is the Pro Smart version, the drawer and crisper plate are actually ceramic coated. If you do opt for the regular Turbo Tower version, the drawer and the crisper plate will just be Teflon coated, which is absolutely great still. By paying for the Pro Smart model, you get improved drawers, which I think is great. So yeah, that is our top drawer. This is going to be perfect to put a toastie in. I love making toasties in the air fryer. Good old cheese toastie is amazing in the air fryer. But the problem is if you've got a really deep basket, getting that into the basket, especially after it's preheated for a bit, is a bit of a pain in the butt, and you can burn your hands if you're sort of in a rush and not using tongs. So having a slightly shallower basket is just perfection. Bottom drawer. Ooh, goodies, excellent. What goodies do we have in here? So again, we've got that ceramic coated drawer and crisper plate. So yes, it comes with a roasting rack, so you can actually stack up 2 different types of food in this bottom drawer. So you can have stuff cooking right at the bottom, and then you can just pop this roasting rack in and put more stuff on the top here, which I think is really excellent. I mean, it's almost like having 3 drawers because you can just stack something on top. It's really handy if you're cooking multiple items and you want to fit more in this 6.5 litre drawer. You can just use that. And if you don't want to use it, you can just take it out, pop it in the cupboard, and just use the drawer to its full capacity. Now this is something that I'm really stupidly excited about, and this is the fact that it's got 3 heater elements. Now this is a feature of the Pro Smart version. So in the top tray, you've got just 1 heating element, pumps the heat down into the basket, and then for the bigger basket at the bottom, you've actually got 2 heating elements. It's called dual blaze technology, and it essentially cooks from the top and the bottom at the same time. So that reduces your cooking time and also gives a more even cook. And each drawer, whether you've got the Pro version or the normal version, has a DC powered fan motor above it to make sure that the heat is distributed across the drawer evenly. Now you might remember I have owned a Tower air fryer before from, let's say, brand X. Whilst the Tower design was amazing and really saved space on the worktop, the actual design of the air fryer was terrible, and it didn't actually cook food properly because of the way that the heat was distributed around it. But we won't have that issue with this Cosori Turbo Tower Pro because the heating elements are where they should be, above and below where the food is cooking, and also the fans will be blowing the air around as well to give it a more even cook. This is going to be good. I can feel it already. So it comes with a captive wire and plug. Obviously this has got a UK plug on it because I'm in the UK. It'll have the correct plug for your region. This has got 2,630 watts of power at its maximum, and the cable length is around about 95 centimeters. That should cover most kitchens, but if you do use an extension lead, make sure that it's rated for 13 amps and 2,630 watts at least, so you can ensure everything is done safely. So what I will do is I'm going to take this downstairs now, and off camera I'm going to give the crisper plates and the drawers a thorough wash to start with, and also do a test run on this so it's ready to go. And then once that's done, we can carry on filming and I can show you this working, and we can make some food, which is good because I'm hungry. I'm always hungry. So yeah, see you downstairs in a second. Well, we're in the kitchen now, and the Cosori Turbo Tower Pro is all set up and ready to use. So like the instructions suggested, I washed it out and then I ran it for 10 minutes at 190 degrees. Now, while we're talking about cleaning, I actually read in the manual that you can take the drawers out and the crisper plate and wash them in the dishwasher. Now that is a godsend. It makes life so much easier. So I think what I'll do before I actually try and cook something in this is show you the user interface on the top of it, because there's lots of settings and things like that, and I think it's easier for me to show you rather than try and explain it. So yeah, let's have a little look at how this all works. So the device is currently in standby, like it says up there, and if we press the power button, now it's asking us which drawer that we're going to be cooking from, so we've got 1 or 2. We can press the match button and the drawers will do exactly the same thing, but we don't want to do that right now, so let's untick that. So we can choose between drawer 1, which is denoted there. If we press drawer 2, it changes to 2. And then underneath here, you've got all the different modes. So we've got air fry, roast, bake, grill, reheat, dry, and proof. Dry isn't available on the non-Pro model. So yeah, make sure if you want to dry things, you get the Pro model. So essentially you have to choose what you want drawer number 1 to do. So you might want to roast in drawer number 1. You probably wouldn't want to because that's a smaller drawer, but yeah, so you can alter the temperature you're roasting at to a maximum of 230 degrees Celsius, and then you can alter the time. So now I've just set it to roast at 230 degrees C for 6 minutes, and then I don't want to sync at the moment, so we won't do that one. I'll show you that in a second. And yeah, we just press the play button and that will start roasting for you. Yeah, if we wanted to cook 2 things at the same time using the same temperature, we just press the match button, both these guys light up, and then we can change the temperature and the time. So that means both drawers will cook at 220 degrees for 15 minutes, and yeah, we can do that. And it's doing its thing. Now if you pull the drawer out, the display turns like that, and you can give your food a shake or whatever, and then you can press it in and it will continue automatically. You don't need to press the play button again. Right, let's use the sync feature. So we'll start with drawer 1 at the moment. So in drawer 1, I want to air fry at 215 degrees for 10 minutes. That's fine. And then in drawer 2, I want to roast at 220 degrees, but only for 5 minutes. So we've got 2 different things set up. And now if we press the sync button, that's going to synchronize the 2 of them. So when we press play, the top drawer, drawer number 1, is going to cook for 10 minutes. Then when it gets to 5 minutes remaining, this will change from hold and say 5 minutes and cook both. And so that means that they both finish at the same time. It's always good to both finish at the same time. So now the air fryer is actually running and it's not particularly loud. I mean, there is a sound. It's got those fans in there that are powered by the DC motors, but it's not massively loud really. It's kicking out a little bit of heat from the back and there's a bit of sort of airflow, but it's not ridiculously hot, and I think so long as you keep it the distance away from the wall that it recommends, you shouldn't have any problems. Now that sync feature is perfect for cooking 2 different types of food that might require different lengths of time cooking and also different temperatures to cook. So I think I'm going to use that in just a second for a bit of lunch. I think I'm going to make a toastie and some chips. But before I do that, I think maybe what I should do is if I get my existing Cosori air fryer onto the top next to this, we can see how they look side by side and compare the sizes, because even though this is taller, I don't think the footprint of this is much bigger at all. But we should get it on the side and find out. It actually feels like the older one is actually slightly bigger. It feels like it's got a slightly bigger footprint. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, it just feels a bit bigger despite the added height of the Turbo Tower. So yeah, that's sort of how it compares to an existing Cosori air fryer if you've already got one and you're thinking of upgrading. Okay, so in the top drawer, we have got one uncooked cheese toastie. And then in the bottom drawer, we've got some chips. Now these will cook at different temperatures, so we need to use the sync function. So the top here, we've got the toastie, so I'm going to do that at 160 degrees for 9 minutes. And then basket number 2, got the chips, so I'm going to do those at 190 for 13 minutes. Now obviously I'm going to stop them halfway through each. I'll turn the toastie over and I'll give the chips a shake. Yeah, if we press sync, we should all be synced up. So hopefully drawer number 2 will start cooking, and then after 4 minutes, drawer number 1 will start cooking. So let's do that. So there we go. Number 1 is on hold until this has got down to 9 minutes, and then we go from there. So let's cut back in when the cook time's about halfway through and we're giving everything a flip, and we can see how well things are cooking. So while my lunch is cooking, let's shout out my channel members. Channel members have gone one step above just subscribing to the channel, which is completely free by the way, and offer a small monthly donation to help support it. If you want to become a channel member, then just scan the QR code in the corner of the screen or follow the link in the video description. Anyway, at time of editing, the channel members are the Kip fans, who are Matt Lovies, JLC Electrical, For the Burbs, Wayne Cornish, Scott Made a Thing, Draco MacGyver, Rebecca, Gigsy80, Christiane, Francesco Demare, Music Me, Jim Wood and Justin Alford. Then you have to get up really early to beat the Kip early birds, who are Tim Salt, Sorcerer Stan, Mark C and Rob Lynn. Then I love these people so much, they are delightful. They are the Kip lovers, and they are Bella Webster, Stez Stixfix, Lawrence, Scott Kendall, Prost Retrofix, Coaster Chelsea, DD Media Production, Lee Benz, Ann and David Hughes, James and Danny and Alex Bennett. Then we have the nuttiest fruitcakes in the land, they are the Kip Nutters, and they are Becky Boobar, Alan Green and Danielle Adele. Then right at the top here, boom, we've got our Kip Mental, and that is RJ Prate. Thank you RJ for your top tier support, and big love to all my channel members no matter what tier you're at. Anyway, I think we're about done. Right, so let's have a look how we're doing. Ooh, that is a toastie and a half. Perfect, yep, looks good. See how those chips have done. Nice, look at that, nice and even. Perfect, no super burnt ones or super not cooked ones. Lovely and even. Well, here we go. Got my toastie and my chips all really well cooked. I think maybe the bottom of the toastie could have done with a little bit longer, maybe another minute or so. When you get a new air fryer, you sort of kind of have to work out the timings and things. Obviously there was that guide included in there with all sort of some estimated timings, but it all depends on exactly what you're cooking. But I think I got it about right. So yeah, a nice plate of food for my lunch. So I think what I'm going to go and do now is enjoy my lunch while it's nice and hot, and then I'll be back in a second to finish up the video. So yeah, bon appetit me. Well, I've just finished my toastie and chips and it was fantastic. And I was thinking about the ending of this video, and I remembered I actually forgot something that's very awesome about the Turbo Tower Pro, and that's the fact that it connects to the VSync app. So as I was chomping away on my toastie, I downloaded and set up the VSync app, and we can get this added to it and we can see what it does, because I've never used it before. So let me make it so you can see my screen. Now the VSync app does require you to sign up to use it, so I've already done that, and I'm just on the home screen here and it's asking me to add a device. It does several different brands, but we want Cosori. Now it's looking for devices. This isn't actually switched on, so let's turn that on. Oh look, there we go, it's found it. So press and hold the power button for 5 seconds until the Wi-Fi light starts blinking. Okay. Wi-Fi light is blinking, so it's connected to the air fryer, and now it wants to join my home's Wi-Fi network. Obviously I've had to blur this out for privacy reasons, but yeah, let me just enter the password quickly. I can't believe my air fryer is connecting to the cloud. This is mad. Right, okay, let's get cooking. So I think this has recipes and ideas in it. So yeah, oh yeah, exclusive library recipe. Use third-party services to connect to Amazon that and Google Assistant and cook with the sound of your voice. That is mental. There's a new firmware available for my air fryer. Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah, let's update the firmware of my air fryer. Welcome to 2025, people. Yeah, I bet you just thought I was going to come back from my toastie and just say, yeah, it's good to see ya, but we've got to update the firmware. I'm going to let that do, and we'll come back in a second when it's all done. There we go. Obviously, it's important to upgrade the firmware of your air fryer. It's mad. Right, okay, so we're done. Interesting. So does it have the history? Okay, it doesn't have the history of what we've cooked before. You can actually start the cooking in the app. So let's do what we did with the toastie. So the toastie we air fried at 160 degrees. We'll set it to 10 minutes because that's probably what it needed. So we'll confirm that. And then we can set up the chips in zone 2. So that was 190 for 13 minutes. Confirm. We want the sync again. Don't tell me that if I press the start cooking button, this is going to actually cook. Let's see. Right, this is interesting. Because we're in the EU, we can't start the cooking remotely completely. We actually have to press the start button. So it's sent all the settings to the machine, but you can't trigger it from the app fully. So you do actually have to press the start button. And there you go. It's actually showing me within the app the cooking times and how long is left. That is amazing. I love this. This is so cool. I wonder, do you get a notification to your phone when it's finished cooking? Do you know what? I'm going to stop it cooking and I'm just going to set it to cook for like 1 minute, and then we'll see if we get a notification to my phone when it's finished cooking, because that's quite handy for me, because sometimes I start things cooking and I will just forget about it. I think it's just the way my brain is wired. So if I've got a notification to come up that tells me that it's cooked, that could be quite helpful. Oh, okay, so I just pressed on the cog in the corner here, and you can rename the device if you want to. You can change the temperature units, you can change the weight units, voice commands. You can connect it to Google Assistant and start the things cooking. But because we're in the EU, it can't be done remotely fully. You still have to press the start button. So that's a bit, yeah, but never mind. Right, okay, let's see if we do get that notification. So let's just cook in zone 1. Let's just do it at its lowest temperature for 1 minute. Confirm, start cooking. So sent it to there, but we do need to press the start button. Let's see if in 1 minute's time I get a notification to my phone. Yes, we do. Oh my goodness. That is so good. I'm going to love that. That's going to make my life so much easier and stop me from forgetting that I've cooked something, because yeah, I just forget. I start things off and wander off and get distracted, and there we go. I know people will say, oh, you don't need an app to do things. And obviously you don't. We've shown this working perfectly fine without any use of an app. But having little things like that just helps improve stuff. And also, it's good for people like me, and it could be good for people with disabilities as well. Maybe they can't hear the chime and the ba-ding, and they can actually get a notification on their phone that tells them that it's cooked. So just because you don't think an app's a good idea, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad idea at all. Now, obviously, this does cost a lot of money. It's well over £200 for the Pro model, and that's not cheap. I mean, it's comparable to a Tower air fryer from brand X, but this one actually cooks the food thoroughly and evenly. That one I found did not. And yeah, this is cheaper than that. And this app connectivity is just as well. And obviously, and also in the app, there's recipes and stuff like that, but I'm not going to go into that today. So yes, this is a lot of money for an air fryer, but it's a very, very well-spec'd air fryer. I love the ceramic coating in the drawers. That's going to make cleaning so much easier. And it just looks nice. For something that has got so much cooking capacity, it doesn't feel like it takes up all of the work surface. If you've got a side-by-side air fryer, they do get quite wide and deep, and they just sort of seem to take up a lot. But once this has cooled down, we can just push it into the corner. Yeah, it doesn't take up any more room. You've just got that slight additional height, which, you know, you might need to double check the height of this and the height of your cupboards, but mine are sort of installed at the correct height for the rules and regulations in the UK. And hopefully yours are too. So there we go. I have really enjoyed making this video. I've got to eat a delicious toastie and chips for my lunch, and I love a gadget, especially one with an app as well. So yeah, what do you think of this? Do you think you'd find the app useful? Do you think you'd enjoy being able to cook essentially 3 layers of food at once with the added tray? Let me know in the comments. But I don't think I've got anything else to say. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but for now, it's game over.